All right, Richardson Plano Networkers, welcome to all of you in the room and welcome to those live on Facebook. Today we're really lucky, not that we weren't lucky when we had the other guy in the pink shirt, but we've got someone who really knows their stuff, someone who's been around for a while. He's got the street cred, as we would say, for what he's going to talk about today. If you've been an entrepreneur or business owner or simply alive for any amount of time, you may have realized that it's your thoughts that create your income. And I'm trying to think of the guy who used to have tapes, and I bought a whole set of tapes, and the name will come to me. But he's the one that actually coined that phrase, that your thoughts create your income. So you've got negative thoughts, you're not going to make any money. You got positive thoughts, you got a much better probability of making some money. During this session, you're going to get some principles, some guides, some teachings to help you move toward your vision. Obviously, you know the word vision because Dave's been, I won't say harping on it, but trying to motivate us all to figure out what our vision is, and then he'll help us implement our vision. And you're going to help a little bit today. Sean's going to give you some information on it. He's an internationally respected and known marketing executive, speaker, trainer, and consultant. He's been a network marketing professional for almost 14 years. That's about how long network marketing has been around, so he's been one of the founders. Spending years in the field as a distributor, building large sales organizations, and 5 years in founder, senior executive, and senior consultant roles, helping to build and manage network marketing companies and assist in their international, I'll say domestic, expansion as well. So, would you please join me in welcoming our speaker today, Sean Murphy. Go for it.
Good morning, good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Outstanding. So, just a little FYI, because I saw you shaking your head. It's like 110 years old, network marketing.
Is it?
It's insane.
Oh, wow.
And so here's the reality. Everybody stood up and you told a what? We call it an elevator pitch, but you told a story. How many of you have something in your story that most people don't even know about? How many of you have a story nobody knows about?
Oh, God,
We all do. But here's the thing, it's that story that's going to bring them in. You stood up and I'm like, is this guy in another room? Only because of your voice. But do you have the tagline, the quiet guy with big success?
Yes, I do.
But I didn't hear that in your story. See what I'm saying? Your thoughts create your income. I'm the guy that turns water into money. I feed your family with water. But how do you do that? How many of you have ever been asked, how do you do that? Here's the answer to that. Very well. Why do you ask? Because all we're trying to do is to create a what? A conversation. Listen, y'all are sharper than I am. I've just done what I've done, and I've done that very well for the last 30 years. But I had a point. How many of you know what a 0.9 grade point average is? 9?
Pretty low.
It's pretty. I was not invited back to the high school. My mom sent my brothers, we all went to some kind of Catholic high school. My brother went to a Catholic high school. My older brother and I went to Jesuit high school. Now, not here in Texas, this was in Ohio. And they didn't invite us back. The neat thing about private schools, you know what the neat thing is about private schools?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I probably should adjust this because of the scandal. You can buy your way back in.
That's right.
My parents had to paint the lines on the bottom of the pool for my brother Jimmy. They had to put a baseball field in for me. But that's a whole other story. What I realized is that everything that we do has a thought first. We make money with positive thoughts. We make money for ourselves with positive thoughts. But you know how we make tons of money with the negative? We can't have them. But when somebody else has that negative thought, they're looking for a what? Bingo. That's the number one product you have, is a solution. Nothing more. Your aquaponics, your investments, the oils. I have amazing people who deal with oils. So here's the question. Would 15 seconds of feeling better and smelling better be of any interest to you? Well, yeah, how do you do that? Well, here's the neat thing. Not only does it absorb into your skin, it's the only thing that can take care of viruses, and that's the thing we're hearing about now, because it can penetrate, and an essential oil can. But the other thing is that when you smell it, it gets into your bloodstream in 15 seconds. What do you have? If you walk down the aisle, if it takes you more than 15 seconds to walk down the laundry aisle, do you know you're hurting your kids? Imagine, see what we're doing here? Because all too often we get excited about the thing we have, not the sizzle we have. And all we have to do is, the biggest challenge we have is not our competition, it's overcoming preoccupation. What they believe we are. He stood up and said aquaponics. Tell me your first name again.
Xavier.
Xavier. Great name for aquaponics. Talk about right there out on the edge, right? Xavier and aquaponics. And you're like, that's cool. Who else knew about it? And you're like, where have I been? But I promise you, if you start talking about your niche, your thing, we don't know all about the chemicals and the sprays and why this, that, and the other. It's all about a story. Everybody wants to have something new. Here's the biggest thing, and if you want to write this down, you can, but I'd ask you to remember it. The most important thing you can ever give your customers is a reason to brag. That's it. Done. Reason to brag. You can come up with all of the slick stuff. I'm going to deal with Xavier because I love his hair. You know, though, that gets attention. I'm the quiet guy. Yeah, right. I love your shoes, by the way. Here's my point. Everybody has a story. Here's the thing. Most people can't tell their story, and they're hoping you can help them. Who deals in investments? People's investment story sucks. Am I allowed to say that on this?
Sure. Yes. You already did it.
Okay.
It's live.
I know, but that's why
It's
I like
live.
that. It's always
had no tape delay, so whatever you say.
So, their investment story, they're hoping you help them. Here's the challenge. They're all afraid to ask for help. Because what do they have to admit? If their investment platform isn't where it's at, they got to admit they haven't done very well. Or the last guy made them broker. Maybe why they call them that. You know what I'm saying? So we have to give them a reason. I have people come to the house. I don't know who they are. They clean the house. But I say, we've got this team that takes care of the bugs in the house, and they do it. I couldn't even tell you their name. But because the guy said my name when he showed up, I probably won't ever change. Recognition. Men and women die for it, babies cry for it. Your customer wants a reason to be recognized for their failure, but we're not going to tell them it's a failure. We're going to tell them it's an opportunity cost. We're going to come up with 1,001 names. We're going to say, when is it okay to give up the old story? People who don't use essential, the jewels. People are like, is it rich? Is it not rich? Are we going to be wealthy with this box? And because it's not on their radar, they never talk about it. So might say, again, I'm just here, I teach people how to find their riches and memories.
Oh, I like that.
Right? Because it's the biggest thing is whenever they look at that box is, well, we're not going to sell it. It's grandma's. It's this, that, and the other. But it's riches and memories. They now get to, maybe they invested in their grandchildren's future. Does this make sense? This is why companies ask me. I'm a storyteller. I'm a high-paid storyteller. I've stood on stage in 30 countries around the world and translated into 40 languages. Not because of my grade point average. But because of my ability to hear your story and turn it into dollars. And the way we turn it into dollars is somebody has to say what? That makes sense. My daddy always said, if it makes sense, it'll make dollars. I love the story. Who's not going to forget anything with the police department?
That's the first time you've told that.
And I love that. That's awesome. Right? So the next thing is and what you could say is, I do so well with them, I'm not in jail. Right? Because my daddy always said, the one who controls the humor controls the income. The one in the front of the room with the pen makes the most money. This is your responsibility to tell your story better. We have no competition. Not one of us has a competition. You know what our competition is? The conversation we're not privy to. They leave, they go, I'm all in. Legal, sounds great. Awesome. And then they get home and they go, I don't know how to tell the story. How many of us have heard you got to go for no's? Get a bunch of no's, you'll get a yes. Here's the reality. Nobody ever bought with a no. And even when you say, the sale doesn't start till the first no, I agree with that, but you got to still get a what? Yes. Can I tell you 3 yeses that are killing your business? Here's the first one. Absolutely. Yes. And then they don't do it. Anybody ever have that happen? Today? It's called the counterfeit yes. It's called the counterfeit yes. I'll teach you how to deal with all of them. The second one is called the confirmation yes. And the confirmation yes says, gee, send me the stuff. I'll check it out and I'll get back with you. They're never going to do that. Then the third one is the commitment yes. They're actually going to do it. But then their story gets changed and they talk themselves out of it. But they were really actually going to do it. There's a fourth one. We've all experienced it. There's only really 10 mean people in the world. They just move around a lot. The fourth one is, it's the vicious yes. They had no intention of ever, never, nothing. They just knew they wanted to see you rise and fall. So here's how you get through the 3 yeses. The counterfeit, the confirmation, and the commitment. Savior, you said yes. You know, I hear that a lot. Would it be okay if I asked you one more question? Well, sure. Tell me what that yes means. And you watch them just go, ugh. Because they had a script running in their head. If I tell you yes, I read a book somewhere as a customer, as a prospect. If I tell you yes, you don't ask me any more questions. You go, yay, out the door you go. And they're sitting home going, oh God, it works. All I got to do is say yes and they go away. You all are needed in this world. What you do is a responsible thing and it's needed. You're entrepreneurs. You have the right to confirm with somebody what they're thinking. You are not a mind reader. You don't have, no, I didn't see any mind readers. The point is this. When they say yes, you go, you know what? I love yeses. Yeses make me happy. But I often get confused. Can you tell me what that yes means? And they'll swallow their tongue. Well, but what you've just done is you've created emotional engagement to the decision that they made for a future arrival. This is all science. I am not that smart to be the slick sales guy. This is science, which I had to learn because, again, I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. But what I learned is that you'll make your decisions for your reasons, not mine. And if you say yes, and I don't ask you the next thing, how many times have we been disappointed by somebody's yes? Maybe here today you asked somebody for water and they said, yeah, I'll get that. And you go, could I get the water? Ah, I forgot. It's just life. Did that happen, Xavier?
Yes.
See, it happened. It happens. This is real world. This isn't, you got to go spend $600 at another seminar. You're learning this at this event.
For $2.
For $2 you learn this. I get paid $15,000 an hour to speak. Why would I be here? Because I love the entrepreneurial spirit. It's not that they aren't paying me. I just decided to do a no-fee gig.
I thought it's because you like David.
I do, but it's a no-fee gig. It ain't free. Y'all get the difference, right? So, your story. How do you get them to say, how do you do that? Because then you get to have the conversation by saying what? Very well, why do you ask? I run an operation that water is life. Tell me more about that. Why do you ask? It's this, anybody ever watched tennis? I don't know if anybody played tennis. I used to play tennis till I had a water blasting accident. I had 7,000 PSI, hit me right across my eye, almost blind, almost took my eye out. But while that was going through the healing process, you know when your windshield has all the water on it, you're like trying to see through it? That's what I saw for about a year. People would throw me keys, I go, you gotta hit me in the chest because I can't catch nothing. My depth perception was off. But I say that to say this. We all have this depth perception problem with our prospects. We think, because how many of us have ever said, this would be so good for them? Right? This would be so good for them. Oh my gosh, you know how many thousands of people? And then we go, well, just don't worry about the no's. You got 10,000, you got 7 billion more people go talk to. My ego won't let me. My fear of rejection won't let me. My addiction to approval won't let me. You're a unique man, Xavier, you know that. I mean, I'm just, from a whole bunch of other things. You're doing an amazing job. Everybody is doing an amazing job. But you've got a unique perspective.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right? You stand out, the hair, you got aquaponics, right? Hydroponics, aquaponics, what's wrong?
So,
How cool is that? And that's a hot thing. That's like, ooh, I can really brag if I go, well, my family only eats aquaponics. Right? Right? Be the first one on your block to use aquaponics.
It'll be the latest diet.
We are.
Right? But you see what I'm saying? What if? But that's how you sell it to everybody else on the next block. Be the first one. Give them a reason to brag. Does this make sense? So, we can all do trainings. Every one of us could stand up here for hours. How can I be of best service to you? Now that you've heard what I do a little bit, I help with stories. I show you how to take what you're already telling. How do you my job is to turn words into income. And I prefer it to be a residual income. Why? Because they start telling your story. Word of mouth. How can I be of service to you? If not, then I can go on to another topic. Yes, ma'am.
I was always told that when you're talking to customers, they like to talk themselves.
2 ears, 1 mouth. Absolutely.
Exactly. So it doesn't. I didn't think it would be beneficial for me to really tell my story because I'm always listening to them.
But they don't know who they're doing business with. Scott will tell you he stood on stage 2,500 live presentations. People do business with people they what?
No, like in
So they don't know you yet. Anytime I sit down, so I also deal in the powerful world of MLM. You all think it's multi-level marketing. I call it me loving more. I've got a team of over 8,000 in Latin America. I try to sponsor away from my home so they don't show up there. Here's my point. When you sit down and say, you know what, I gotta tell you, my story probably mirrors a lot of yours because we're in this world together. We've all had ups and downs. But really what I want to do in this conversation is how can we make the next chapter the best chapter? That's what I'm working on right now. I decided to get into this business. I decided to be able to represent this business model to make my chapter the next chapter the best one. Is it okay if we had a conversation that we might be able to help you do that too? Now there's rapport. The question isn't rapport, the question is how old can the rapport be? That's a huge difference. We can have rapport, right? We got cool shoes. Did you see my shoes?
Oh, they are?
Yeah! Right? So we got rapport. We're the only one. Right? So we can chat. We can talk about shoes. But that's only as long as you've owned those shoes. That's only as long as I've owned my shoes. How can I get back to your childhood? How can I make my rapport with you older instantly? Right? Well, that's through dialogue, not monologue. Emerson said the challenge with most people's dialogue is they think they have one. We've all heard about, well, it's two monologues that happen to bump into each other every now and then. Covey said, seek first to understand, then we understand. You all have an amazing gift to do what you do in your niche. Sometimes we look at it and go, what I do really isn't sexy. It is! It's sexy to the person who wants to call you at midnight. It's sexy to the person who's got the ticket going, you know, I got his card, I don't know what I did with it, but I could really use it now. Nothing becomes important until when? It's important. So until it's important, it has to be something worth bragging about. And this is where your mental profits. Change the way you say what you say, so they say, ooh, I want that. A lot of people have heard of essential oils. One of the biggest differences is that a lot of my best clients have made it essential in their life. Because if I'm buying essential oils, I can go to Amazon. What I've done is I've made it essential they understand how to use essential oils to take care of their family each and every day, to keep them from any challenges in life. Some of my clients are the healthiest clients in the world. I don't know, maybe it's since they started it, right? I'm just throwing ideas out. Did that help? Yes, sir.
I know a lot of us in here go to networking meetings on a regular basis.
Yep.
How do you keep it fresh? Like, if we come up with this way to get them to brag about us, if you keep saying it week after week, then all of a sudden they tune you out. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So you just keep telling different stories? Or?
Well, so here's what happens. What you do is in that dialogue, before you tell your story, maybe you met somebody new. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Terica.
Terica. How cool! You know, I was talking to Terica. Everybody in the room instantly is going to perk up and hope they hear what?
Story.
And Terica was talking about, she was having a conversation with, say your name? Mako. Now all of a sudden everybody's totally attentive because they're waiting, are you going to represent me or not? So how do you gather everybody's attention in the room? You say somebody's name. So that's how you keep it fresh. Because you want somebody to sit here and go, we got to hear the story. He's going to tell you the most amazing story. Because if you change it, I can't sell you. If you change it, I can't sell you. I need to know my script to send people to you for printing. And you can say, how many of you have heard my story before? Great, you're going to hear it again. Make a little humor in it. You said this is the first time you heard the police story. That's pretty cool. I don't know, depends upon what time of day you're doing it. Friday afternoon, you'd be like, oh God, I'm not going to the bar, I'm going home. Did that help?
Yeah. I've heard more often than I can think of, facts tell, stories sell. So what you're doing, what you're recommending is personalize the story. My question to you is this: I don't have any really sexy stories of stories that give people attention that I know about. So to what degree can you and should you?
What's your biggest, if you're okay with sharing, what's your biggest failure in life?
My biggest failure in life? My marriage.
So, did you have Legal Shield at that time?
No.
Might it have helped you at that time?
Possibly.
Okay. So, one of the biggest challenges, I don't know about you, but how many years ago was that? Kind of put it out of your mind, I understand. A long time ago, I got divorced, and I didn't have a service like this. Now, I don't know if it would have helped me or not, but I know today there's people who are in legal challenges that wish with an 800 number they could have a solution like that. Does that make sense? You made it real. You made it raw, because who you might be talking to, you instantly created rapport, because 50% of marriages end in what? There's a chance. But you see what I'm saying? So that's how you make it personal.
And I say that my marriage because I'm widowed, I was never divorced.
Okay.
But just the overall everything.
So, here's the thing. How many of us, so you could say something, how many of us have ever gone through a divorce, but there was nobody there? How many of us ever got a divorce with something we loved and it wasn't our choice? Does that change the story? How many of us instantly thought of something in our own head?
Well, part of personalizing my story a little bit is 20 years ago, 21 now, I was in a very severe automobile accident. We weren't legal shield members at the time. We sued, got a nice settlement. Had we been legal shield members at the time, it would have saved us $72,000.
So here's the thing. Rather than the details, right, because those are the facts, about 20 years ago, had I made a decision sooner, I could have saved $79,000. How do you do that?
Okay.
Very well, why do you ask?
Well, I love that.
See the difference?
Yeah. I love that.
Very well, why do you ask? Because all we want to do is find out, are they open? Most people are looking for a reason to do something or what? An excuse not to. And if we keep running this cake hole, we will give them the excuse not to. Everybody wants what we all have. Everybody wants it. How many of us have heard if you keep talking, you'll buy it back? Right? We've all heard this. We know this. Yeah, I'm not telling you. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. I didn't make none of them. Everything I got's borrowed. But it's the story we tell for us. Yes, ma'am.
So I keep hearing multiple points of view. Yes, stories sell, facts tell, those kinds of things. But then I also hear about duplicability, especially within duplicability, which is duplication, and it's kind of a pseudo made-up name that could eventually get into the workforce now already. But so one of the things that they talk about that is to depersonalize some of the stories, because then those that might be interested in doing the business with you or following may or may not feel comfortable. So what is your view on kind of making it simple enough for someone else to see themselves doing what you're doing, but still balancing?
Trainers teach. Yes, so the question is about duplication. And I've heard multiple sides of the story, and people say, well, no, keep the emotions out of it, just tell the facts. And how do I tell, if I'm telling my story, how does somebody I bring in tell their story? It's only the intro. Is your name the same as his name?
No.
Your stories are different. Right. Here's why trainers tell you to do that, because they want you to buy your stuff because they think you're going to learn something. You won't. 80% of books, how many of us have a book or tape on our shelf that we haven't read yet? So this is why they sell you this. You go, oh, I could learn that. You already know this stuff. You already know this stuff. I know people can do crazy stuff with oils, but if they use them properly, under your tutelage and direction, will they ever get hurt?
No, not if you use it properly.
Could it make their life better?
Yes.
Could you have something you could carry in your pocket that could save not only you, your family, but maybe a friend? That's the story. But we, corporations, and if you're a network marketing executive, I dare you to call me out on this. You have no idea how to do marketing. They don't. Because they market it to who? To you to buy a product. That's it. They're B2C. You're C2C. You have to tell your story. I promise you, there's a story you have. I'm looking at it right in your eyes. There's a story you've not told anybody because you were said, no, keep that quiet. I promise you, let's spend 15 minutes together, you'll triple your business.
Can I take you up on that?
I just said that. It's live, it's recorded, but I promise you this.
Rewind, play again.
Because here's the thing. People fall in love with that smile. That's the first time I've seen the smile. Do you all see that? That's what people love. It's not this, okay, let me figure this out. And what's he doing? And why isn't he talking like everybody else? And how come he's just this, oh my God, people pay him for this? Yeah. They do. Why? Because they've lost connection with their community. If the products were good once, why would anybody ever leave? They forgot how to tell the story. Does that help? Now, you will get some resistance. I deal with doTERRA and all of the different companies and all of the different distributors and all people who there's companies who put essential oils in the weight loss because it's like everybody's talking essential oils. Why would a marketing company who's selling this niche to this channel go and put that in? Somebody's buying it and they don't want them to leave because their story's not strong enough.
Yeah, hemp oil, because that's popular.
Get on the latest pony. Yes, sir. Let me know when I'm done with time.
You get 10 minutes.
Okay.
I actually have something that can help everybody. People can save money, no matter what they're buying,
Yep.
what they're spending. But I also have a list of over 100 people that, they're people that I know, people that I've worked with, people
Yep.
that I've lived with, people that I am related to.
Forget it. You'll never get any of them. You're never a prophet in your own land next.
And they'll never, they won't even take a look at it.
No, they
I got a
won't.
video. I don't have to sell anything. I just show them a video.
So,
But I,
Jesus couldn't do it, so you can.
so here's the point. You deal with an amazing company. I know Team National. You deal with an amazing company that got an amazing savings of products. Everything from Wi-Fi to you name it. Here's the challenge. Nobody wants to save money.
Apparently, yes.
They want to brag. Anybody ever buy the membership at Direct Buy?
Yeah.
How many times you use it? But it was so cool. It was so cool because it was red carpet. It was by invitation only. What if you started saying, listen, our company is going to put a program in place. I can only help one family save one family per month. Would you like to be that family? What are you doing? What do you mean only one? I could be the one? Who remembers the movie Tin Men? That was my father. I rest in peace. But that was my dad.
My father bought the aluminum siding.
And do you remember the lady? Remember when they're doing we're going to do the old photo shoot? And they're out on the front yard, and they're going, come on out, come on out. And she comes out, and she goes, what are y'all doing? Gotcha. Oh, we're taking some pictures for Life magazine. For what? Well, we're going to use your house as the before picture. And it shows them later on in the house going, you know what? Geez, BB, I don't know. Can we do this? We already had the other house for the after picture. Sign right here. That's unethical. Just to be very clear.
But it worked.
But what is ethical is when you give them what they're looking for. She wanted that. She wanted to be on the cover of something. She wanted to be recognized. People want to brag about what they do. Y'all get that? How many of us have ever bought a piece of clothing because of its name? Yeah, there you go, Xavier. Both hands up, man. Both hands up. And keep them up. Keep going. Here's my point. You have an opportunity to change not only your world, but the world of everybody's around yours. And it all starts with a story to get them to say, how do you do that? First thing, did you think, I'm going to run out and buy a hydroponic garden? You thought it was cool, wanted some more information. Now maybe you're that kind of crazy. You seem like that crazy when I heard the story. My point is this. Most people are like, that's cool. Yeah, not me. But what does every parent want for their children? The best food possible. I teach you how to have the best food possible with the best possible water, and you can take care of them for the rest of your life. How do you do that? Very well, why do you ask? My name's Lee. Does that make sense? Then it'll make dollars. This is why I get to do what I do. I found a way to be able to get paid to tell stories and teach other people how to do it. Because I ain't selling you nothing here. I'm selling you on the idea that you have a chance to make a difference in the world. And now that, and if those of you that have been to network marketing companies go, listen, I don't know, there's usually two good opportunities come along your way. I don't know if this is the first one or the second one. And that's scarcity. Don't be scarce. Give everybody everything you got. And here's why. They ain't got you. Let them buy you. Thanks, everybody.
So, you were talking, or your cohort back here said something about a workshop.
Oh, an event.
Event.
Yes.
Right? So, would you like to?
Scotty, come up here and tell it, because he's got.
Would you guys share that with us before you leave, or
Absolutely.
do we have to chase you out in the parking lot?
No, we're going to teach people how to double their business before the end of fourth quarter.
Nice shirt.
Y'all ask me, how do you do that?
Very well.
Very well. Why do you ask?
So if you don't know, Sean and I are partners in U+1. And the reason we came together is because, quite frankly, far too many people, as speakers and trainers, we want to affect the masses. Nobody wants to just affect one at a time. We said, heck with it, let's start one at a time. And so we came together. So we have an event next Saturday at Warfare Marketing Live. And the
16901 Dallas Parkway.
And we'll give you pictures so we don't get any posts.
That's right.
But the registration is for you +1. Your registration for 1 gets you tickets for 2. Why? Because that's what we always do. We always over-deliver. For the live event, we're giving a $1,000 travel savings bonus. We're serious about rewarding you for investing in you.
Now, we also have a live stream, so if you have teams elsewhere, we've got people registered from Costa Rica, from the UK, Canada, Panama,
Philippines.
So again, we'd love to have you all there as a live audience. There's only 24, 26 seats, something like that there. That's great. We'll have far more on the live stream than we'll have there, but we can assure you.
And it doesn't end out. It doesn't end at the event.
Only 26 seats?
Yeah, that's right. Well, no,
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, now there's only 20. We've already got 6 gone.
That's right.
Scarcity.
You've been to the room, you know
the
that's
room.
true.
But here's the point. We have a private Facebook group. There's already trainings in the private Facebook group. Sean is great friends with Ray Higdon. Ray has given us 3 hours of recordings on recruiting
From his
direct sales.
$25,000 a year.
From his $25,000 program. It's the only place you can see it. These are all bonuses. We're going to do 4 more hours of live stuff after to implement and everything. Because it's not about, again, training is only as good as your ability to implement it and make it work for you. That's what we specialize in. You know, so we have a lot of fun. We play off each other fairly well most of the time.
Scott, what time does it start?
8:30 to 4:30. It's a full day of training, and again, understand that it's for you plus one. We're going to reward you every different way we possibly can. We want to create a community. See, we figured it this way. Instead of putting 1,000 people in a room and hopefully affecting 1,000 people in a room, we'd rather put smaller numbers in a room and have the one affect another one. Carry on the U plus one community. Now we have a bunch of people who are all investing the same way, working to serve each other. I'm like Sean. I mean, he's the direct sales guy. I'm the traditional business guy. We speak the same thing. We speak people. It's about people. It's not about stuff. We'll help you learn people. When you got that, you got everything.
Awesome. Is there any special deal or anything?
Yeah, go to well, $1,000 for, I'm sure you're not paying $1,000 for the event. U plus one, YOUPLUS, the number 1, presents.com. And again, let's just say that you can't make it Saturday live. Get the live stream because it's all going to be recorded. You can go back and
it's not the traditional, you only get it for 10 days unless you pay that. No, this is lifetime. We want it to be the most simplest way for you to take care of you. And remember, even live stream is U plus one. This is,
yeah, that's right. We'll give you a coupon for a second person you can have on the live stream.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
And what we'll do for the Facebook Live audience is we can come up, you can post that link, right, on the video feed?
Yes.
If you will, in the comments, so we'll post it so they can find it, and then that way, if you want to go back to, this will be streaming to my page, right, or my personal page, but it will be on Richardson Plano Networkers, Business Growth Network, Vision Challenge Engage. It'll be in a bunch of different places, so, this video, so we'll get that. But it's a week from Saturday.
Yep, week from tomorrow.
Okay,
March
so-
30th.
So if you're gonna do something there, you know, it's committed yes or whatever, for real, do something about it.
If you want to talk to us about it, come talk to us
Yeah,
about it.
they'll be here afterwards for those that are in the room.
I forgot to collect money.
Oh, okay, yeah, if you weren't here, if you were here on Wednesday, today is free. If you weren't here on Wednesday, it's $2. As always, just appreciate that. It covers, you know, it's not for profit, but we're not for loss, so we just cover the expenses with that. So, next Friday, just so you know, we have our normal Wednesday group. If you're part of the Wednesday group, for those that are here on Wednesday, you know you need RSVP, because we're averaging over 40 a week right now, and so and that seems to be growing. So at least let people know you're going to be here, and we'll adjust the room if we have to. Next Friday, Jeff Sandine is going to be talking. His topic is going to be really cool: selling the invisible. So next Friday, if you're in a business like he's in financial planning and stuff like that, and you're selling something, not a tangible thing, right? Like consulting. You definitely want to come and hear. Jeff has actually worked very hard to prepare this talk. He's done something that I've asked a lot of you, or encouraged a lot of you to do. He's come up with something he's passionate about, not necessarily what he directly monetizes in his financial planning, but something that's really helped him. And now he's put together a talk that's very grounded in things that he's going to share. So be here to support him, be here to learn about him. And also for those that are part of the network or not part of the network, this floor is available. We do 48 of these a year on Friday. So this is an opportunity for you to take your networking. This is Richard Plano Networkers, but this is networking. When you're doing what Sean did here today, when you're doing, that's networking. You're serving. Networking is serving. The people that stick in here, the almost 1,300 people we have that are coming, the ones that come the most are the biggest givers. That's what this culture of this group is. So appreciate you being here. Thanks, Randy, for that. Thank you again, Sean. Let's give Sean one more hand.
Right.
I asked him, I said I needed a speaker today, and you know, I love guys like that. That's the heart of the servant right there. Yes, I'll be there. Didn't ask any questions.
With passion.
With passion. So again, thank you very much. All right, guys. Network it will. Have a great
Yay!
weekend.
I missed you.
That's all right.
Glad you got here. Your name is? Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. I'm Sean.
I want to see your shoes.
Her shoes were rocking.